Ladies and gentlemen, you guys got a front row seat. We're giving away tickets to Will's personal gun show today. All right. Put those bad boys away, Will. The Suns are out. The guns are out. What's going on?
I just came from football practice and you're going live.
It looks like you look jacked. Like what's the routine?
Stop.
What are you going on? Like, is it high protein, low carbs? What are we working with?
This is what we're doing today.
Absolutely. The people want to know what Will Ford does to look so chiseled and young. What's the secret?
Chocolate cake.
I like chocolate cake too. In other news, we will be giving away some memorabilia here before game day, before the Lions take the field next Thursday night. We're going to be giving away some memorabilia. We got that helmet. We got some jerseys. We got some gift cards. Hammer that like and subscribe button. It truly does help us out quite a bit. We try to bring you guys here to have a little fun if you haven't noticed. But Will, what are we talking today other than those 24-inch pythons you're carrying around?
They're about 10, maybe 9 inches. Maybe 9. Maybe the camera's doing me some justice today. Steve, thanks for being the best hype man ever. Hopefully Emily agrees with you. But anyways, we're going to be talking day 2 of training camp and just some of the keys that takeaways from that, man. And whatever other sauce you want to put on it, man. I think this is going to be one of them situations where we talk about a little bit of day 2 and then we see what we get into. Is there anything about day 2 that stood out for you?
Marcus Davenport was a problem today, Will. From what I've read from Tim Twentyman, I am trying to upload the paragraph that he put together in his article as we speak, so bear with me. But I was bricked up when I was reading about what Marcus Davenport was doing today, because this has been my guy he's like the most defended guy for me, other than Jamison Williams, is Marcus Davenport. And hearing him go out and have a day, still early. I'm not getting overly excited. But I do like what I'm hearing about Marcus Davenport on day 2 of training camp, William.
Yeah, same, man. But I will say this. I expected this. If you know anything about Marcus Davenport, when he's healthy is a problem. That's period. It's the reason why he was a first-round draft pick. So if he can stay healthy, he's going to be an absolute problem. I'll let you get into it a little bit. But
yeah. I'll just read this. This is from Tim Twentyman, Detroit Lions beat writer. I think it's like his 18th year I saw covering the team. So shout out to him. Long career covering the Detroit Lions. Jealous. Dream job. It's amazing. Veteran edge rusher Marcus Davenport was a beast at Lions practice Monday morning. It started in the first offense versus defense team period when he walked a tight end back into the running back for no gain. 2 plays later, he flushed Jared Goff out of the pocket in what probably would have been a sack if the quarterback was live to tackle. Later, he beat All-Pro Penei Sewell, maybe you've heard of him, for a sack in a team period. Davenport was the best player on the field for the Lions Monday. I mean, that's all I need to hear right there, William. That's it. Like, stop the show. That's all I need.
Best player on the field is special. Even in day 2, because there's a lot of good football players on that field, man. So, and when you talk about beating the likes of Penei Sewell, that's a guy who keeps track of his losses, man, and tries to ensure that he's getting the best of you. So, yeah, it does excite me, even though it's day 2, Steve. But it is an expectation. I'll say it again. Marcus Davenport is an absolute dog, and I think going into this season, people better act like they know. Otherwise, he's going to let you know, because he's playing with a huge chip on his shoulder. So look out for Marcus Davenport, guys. If there's any Vegas bets that you can get into, I haven't looked at any odds. I always tell you guys, if there's a bet going on, I'm going to check in with Steve about it, because I don't know much about betting online. But I would imagine that the odds aren't in his favor for any crazy super production. But I'm expecting him to be a boomer bust guy. He's either going to go crazy or he won't be on the field. It'll be one way or another.
I'll make a hot take. I'll say that if Marcus Davenport plays a full season, I know, big if, everyone's laughing right now. If he plays a full season, Marcus Davenport will end with double-digit sacks. I'll say that. 10 sacks is not out of the question for a guy with his skill set. It's never been about the skill set. It's always been about the health. So I'm a firm believer in Marcus. I think he's the biggest X factor for me on this defensive line. Him and Hutch could just be an absolute problem. Then we talk about Tyleik Williams, who had a good day yesterday, who really stood out. Like, that D-line's really coming along. I know we lost Levi Onwuzurike, but I'm still very high that this defense, and I've seen a lot of rankings where some of the major sites, PFF, all that stuff, have the Lions potentially having a top 10 defense, a top 10 front seven. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited, Steve. Another thing I'm excited for, and it's not really, I wouldn't say that it's crazy news, but I will say this: or not Terry Arnold, Ennis Rakestraw, just a little bang up, just a little bruise, nothing crazy. Couple of days, he'll be back. I was really looking forward to watching him compete this training camp and then going into the season. I was pretty disappointed when I heard that he came down with an injury, and especially when they said chest injury, because sometimes when they put those out there, Steve, and they say chest, it ends
Could
up
be
being
anything.
collarbone. Yeah, a lot of times it's collarbone because it's like either grabbing for this, you go off the field. They say he was grabbing for his chest or it's a chest injury, and then a lot of times it ends up collarbone, which is pretty much a season ender. So I was just really happy for him and for the Detroit Lions, and selfishly because I want to watch him get out there and compete, and I want to have a crazy deep secondary. So Ennis, man, happy that you're doing okay. Can't wait to see you compete, and get back and compete in training camp.
Yeah, we talked about that yesterday. We were hoping that was a big nothing burger, and that's not what it ended up being. Probably just got the wind knocked out of him. I think Dan said it was a contusion, so nothing crazy there. But I think Roy Lopez also, I don't want to say left practice, but I guess stopped practice today after a leg injury. He didn't go to the locker room, didn't leave practice, just kind of stayed on the sideline with some trainers. So something to keep an eye on going forward. I don't think that's anything serious either. If it were serious, they probably would have taken him to the locker room and got something checked out. But other than that, I don't think we have any more injury news to my knowledge, William.
But
But
Steve, you know I'm a defensive guy.
yeah,
We're talking about Tim Twentyman. He has a couple things to say.
yeah,
He said Marcus Davenport. He also said something else. He said that the defense dominated 7-on-7. Dominated. Yeah. I love to hear that, especially after hearing yesterday DJ Reed got undressed by St. Brown. To hear they bounced back today and dominated 7-on-7. Listen, and this is, I'm going to absolutely say that I'm biased here. I know I'm biased, and I know I'm probably putting too much sauce on the defensive side, but who gives a F? The offense always gets all of the glory and all of the stars and all of the money, and they get all of the things. Dominating 7-on-7 is special. It's special because you're dominating a game that you're not even supposed to win. I'm not allowed to touch the guy past 5 yards, and he gets to make all of these different moves, and he knows what he's doing. And I can't hit the quarterback. He's got a red jersey on. There's just everything is just set up for the offense to just go out and play catch on 7-on-7. It excites me to hear that this defense dominated. With our offense is tough, man. We got weapons out there, so to hear this defense was dominating, Steve, our dreams might come true. Now, I know there's no pass rush and 7-on-7 and all of that, but that even speaks more to how special this is to me. These guys have forever to go out and get open. Yet, this defense was taking care of business. This secondary is deep. I think this secondary is built to go out and play man-to-man coverage. These linebackers are athletic. Coach Campbell did a press conference today where he was talking about guys deep in that linebacker room like Zach Cunningham and how athletic they are and how he not only offers being able to be stout in the run game, he's an athlete who was doing a pretty doggone good job covering Sam Laporta. Steve, I'm excited about hearing this about the defense. I'm tapering my expectations because I know it was day 2, but I love to hear it. Does this excite you hearing about this defense being dominant day 2 against probably a number 1, if not top 3 offense?
I'm not sure what excites me more: the Detroit Lions having a dominating defense on day 2, or those biceps. Well, I'm not sure which one excites me more. If I'm being honest with you, I'm just can't stand up right now, or I'm going to give the world a show. I think it's a better sign that the Detroit Lions pass rush wasn't out there and we still dominated 7-on-7s, because I don't care. I'll take a coverage sack. I don't care if the quarterback's on the ground. Get them a little happy feet, get some balls up in the air, and make some bad mistakes from the quarterback, and we come down with it. I think it's a better sign because I just told you what Marcus Davenport was doing in drills. I mean, we're day 2 and we haven't even had to mention Aiden Hutchinson yet. Like, I think that's a good sign as well. So for us, our offense just loaded with skill players: Sam Laporta, Jameson Williams, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jahmyr Gibbs. And our defense is going out there in drills and shutting those guys down. Is there a lot of other teams out there with offensive playmakers like the ones I just listed off? Because there's not many. Like you might have the Patrick Mahomes and the Josh Allens and Lamar Jacksons, but what's surrounding them isn't really great. So for us to go out there and dominate on defense and 7-on-7s is the best news I could hear, because the last 2 or 3 seasons we've been talking about it. Can the Detroit Lions defense get on par with what the offense has been doing? A top 5 offense. Can this Detroit Lions defense get somewhere in the top 10 and play complementary football to the offense? I think we were there at times last season. Aaron Glenn was coaching his ass off, but injuries down the road, attrition wore us out. Just couldn't sustain any more losses, and we were just kind of tapped out at the end of the year, unfortunately. But when fully healthy, I do have high hopes for this defense. And Kelvin Shepard, I saw something yesterday that is kind of similar to another thing that Tim Twentyman said about everyone pursuing the football. I read something that Coach Shep had all the linebackers out there, and I can't remember exactly what it said, but he was putting a football out on the field, and he was having the linebackers race to it. And whoever was last had to do extra up downs. So it's just teaching pursuit of the football. So maybe you use that one in coaching as well. Will get to the football. Like that's the story of the defense.
Yeah, that's the name of the game, man. Get their tackle and create some turnover. So, Coach Shep, man, I like what you're doing. I like what I'm hearing, man. I'm excited for this defense moving forward, because everybody has called for a player opposite of Aiden Hutchinson. To hear Marcus Davenport look like the best player on the field, it could be
saying something. There's some players on that field.
Yeah, he could be making a lot of people eat crow. If Marcus Davenport plays out of his mind, he's going to make a lot of people eat crow, as well as I can't wait to see how many people are on the bandwagon. Steve, there's going to be, I knew Marcus Davenport was special, man. I can't wait. But I'm going to warn you guys ahead of time. I got some receipts, so be careful. But, Steve, did you hear what David Montgomery said about how he's feeling going into this season?
I did hear it, but I'll let you set the table.
Steve, there's no table that needs to be set. He dubbed this season a season of reckoning. Hey, Steve, you talk about it all the time, how you like how this man runs the football.
Angry.
He might run it angrier. A season of reckoning. He feels like that he was the forgotten soldier last season after he got banged up. And this season is going to be a season of reckoning. And then only for Coach Campbell to say, hey, maybe other people forgot about him, but us, we definitely did not forget about him. He is going to have a role here in Detroit, and we're going to lean on him. And then went on to mention again, and you guys are going to get, I guarantee you, people are going to get sick of me saying it, but Coach Campbell mentioned again having Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery on the field at the same time. So apparently Coach Campbell is going to be playing some Madden himself, and I'm here for it, Steve. I cannot wait. The more it's talked about, the more excited I get. I know I need to taper my expectations, because I'm turning this thing into the whole movie deal where somebody says, you ask them how the movie was, and they're like, oh man, it was so good. It was this and that. And the movie was an 8 or an 8.5, but because people told you that it was going to be a 10, you're not happy with the 8, 8.5. You're like, where you would have been excited. So I hope I don't turn it into that, man. But man, I am really excited that just for some angry runs of David Montgomery, and then some Jahmyr Gibbs receiving touchdowns. Hey, listen, I'm expecting at least 1,000 and 1,000 out of Jahmyr Gibbs this year. Go ahead and stand on that. Will said, go ahead and book that if that's a bet somewhere. Yeah, go ahead and book on that, and then and maybe I'll do some proceeds in on it, man. We can win together.
William, I don't think David Montgomery liked how last season ended. I don't think any of us did, but I think he just shows it more. All right, he's more of a hard on his sleeve kind of guy. Like he's going to tell you how he feels. Maybe not in exact words, but I think that's kind of what we're getting at is the last 2 games of the season. That wasn't the David Montgomery when he got hurt against Buffalo. And then he tried to come back against, I think it was Minnesota. And then you just knew like within the first 2 times he touched the ball, like that's not David Montgomery. Like it's not the same guy. He's not ready. And I think the Lions did the right thing. Essentially pretty much got him out of the game. I'm looking forward to angry David Montgomery. More angry? Is that even possible? Because I remember this dude putting the team on his back in week 1 against the Rams when we just leaned on our offensive line and he just ran the ball right down their throat all the way down for a touchdown. I see him do it a couple years ago against the Chicago Bears when we had that amazing comeback against them when we were down like, what was it, like 13 points with like 5 minutes left or something. And David Montgomery, what did we do? Hey, down 5 minutes left. That's okay. Just give me the football. Like he will take over a game. I think he's probably the most underrated player on offense. I think he just kind of gets forgotten about. And isn't it scary that we're forgetting about a running back who's probably going to have 1,000 yards if healthy, probably going to have double-digit touchdowns if healthy? Like, there's good problems for the Detroit Lions to have.
Definitely good problems to have, man. I think Coach Campbell said it best, man. It's special that we have two running backs like this, and it's kind of unheard of. And not many teams get an opportunity to have, to me, two top 10 running backs. And I think David Montgomery's a top 10 running back. So two top 10 running backs on the same team, man, that's special.
Yeah, I can't wait for football. Well, just plain and simple. Like, training camp's here. I'm excited. Anything else going on?
Last thing that I really want to talk about is Hendon Hooker, man. Hendon Hooker and the press conference with Coach Campbell today. I can't read them. I can't read them. Sometimes I get the feeling, sometimes I get the feeling that they don't like him. Like he's not doing enough for those guys to believe in him, for lack of a better word. I'm not going to say that they don't believe in him at all. So that's not what I mean, but he's not doing enough for them to look at him as a potential starter in the league. Is really what I'm thinking. They're just so matter of fact when they mention him. Now, part of that makes me say, is that gamesmanship? Right? Is that them trying to taper the expectations? So one, we don't have some QB controversy where people are asking us to bring him in if Goff has
Jared Goff throws one interception and we start chanting for Hendon Hooker in the stands.
Yeah, is that some type of, them tapering the expectation? Because Brad Holmes and Coach Campbell are just a matter of fact. Hey, listen, Hendon knows what it is. It's literally what he said. He knows what it is. He knows what it is. He's got to get in here and compete. Hey, we gave him some stuff in the offseason to do. Hope he did it. That's kind of how Coach Campbell. Hey, I know how he's wired. He wants it. Hey, he better come out here and show it. He knows this year he has to take a step forward. I just don't hear him talk about. We talk about Alex Anzalone, right, in the situation, and we know that there's a little bit more than they're alluding to going on. But when Coach Campbell got asked about potentially maybe Alex holding out, maybe this hamstring isn't the biggest deal and he's there, but he isn't there type deal. He said, no, I don't believe that. I don't believe that. He's going to be ready to go. And I get that that's a guy that's proven, but I just mean generally. Generally, I feel like Coach Campbell walks that line of conservative and always being a player's coach. And with Hendon, it just seems like he's like, hey, man, Hendon better get out here and compete if he wants to stick around. If not, I don't know. He knows what he got to do. He knows he's got to take a step forward this year. So I just can't get a read for it. Guys, if you're listening still, put it in the comments. What do you think, Coach Campbell? What does he feel about Hendon Hooker? What does he do? Am I reading too much into it? Am I not reading enough? Because I shouldn't even say, am I missing the read? Because I don't know if they love him. I don't know if they hate him. I don't know if they think he has a future. I don't know if they think that he's booty cheeks. Like I don't know how they feel about him. So if you guys know something that I don't, leave it in the comments. And Steve, if you know something I don't know, because I know we've talked about it a little bit, but you haven't mentioned it, please lay the sauce on me right now.
I think Dan he's really good at keeping things close to the vest, but eventually in any scenario, he's going to have to show his cards. I think he's going to show his cards if Kyle Allen is getting more of the snaps in training camp or in preseason games. And I thought something else was very interesting that he said. Someone in the audience at the press conference today asked him if he had been in contact with Teddy Bridgewater. And he pretty much said, yes, I am in contact with Teddy Bridgewater. So I wonder what that means. What are those conversations like? I've got a chip on Brad Holmes's phone where I can track him during the offseason and see like what games he's going to. I might have to find a way to like hack into Dan's phone and see what these conversations are, because I thought that was a well-worded question, whoever asked it. And it was pretty much straight to the point, but in a very professional manner, to the point where Dan had to give an answer. And he said, yes, I have been in contact with Teddy Bridgewater. What does that mean? Is it possible we see Teddy Bridgewater on the Detroit Lions before the end of training camp? If so, I think that's another thing that would show Dan Campbell's cards, is how he feels about Hendon Hooker.
Steve, this leads me to a question. Yeah, I know you love my questions.
Love him.
Which do you think is more probable, or who do you think is more probable to be a Detroit Lion before this season is over? Not Hendon Hooker, Teddy Bridgewater, or Zadarius Smith? Who's more probable to be a Detroit Lion before this season is over?
Oh, my personal feelings is I'm kind of hoping for Zadarius Smith because he would be more of an impact on the team. Teddy Bridgewater, backup quarterback, don't need to see him unless Jared Goff gets hurt. So for me personally, it's probably Zadarius. And that kind of leads me into a question. When we did our episode yesterday, we were pretty heavy on Levi Onwuzurike, and people just apparently just didn't care that one of our rotational defensive tackle and defensive ends got hurt for the season, and they didn't think that was very newsworthy for some reason. A lot of people are saying now is the time to sign Zadarius Smith. Well, I don't think that the two go hand in hand, but that doesn't mean that I didn't want Zadarius Smith before Levi got hurt, and it doesn't mean that I want him anymore now. My feelings are still the same. Will, are you in the same boat?
Exact same boat. I don't think the two go hand in hand. Levi Onwuzurike plays some defensive end. He's a defensive tackle, though. It's kind of like the opposite with Pascal. Pascal plays some defensive tackle. He's a defensive end, though. Is the bottom line. So I don't think the two go hand in hand. I think Zadarius is another edge piece, and I think that he would help our team out. I haven't given up on the potential of assigning him. I hope we do. And if I was choosing in between the two, I would choose Zadarius for the reasons that you just said. I'm hoping never to see our backup quarterback besides preseason. But if you're asking me which one is more probable, Teddy Bridgewater don't have a job right now. He's got nothing to do. I don't think he's going to want to sit home and be bored. I think he's going to be looking to get back in the league in his interim in his vacation season away from high school sports. Bottom line is, who's the most probable team to get him? The team he's already familiar with and he has a great rapport with. And apparently he's talking to the head coach pretty often. So I'm fully expecting to see Teddy Bridgewater as a Detroit Lion at some point. I think they need to figure out who the backup or who the third string or whatever you want to call it quarterback is. Is Hendon Hooker going to step into a role to where he is our number two and then Teddy can come in and be that veteran? Or are we in a situation where Hendon isn't what they hoped? He ends up being that guy on the outside looking in, and then it's between Teddy Bridgewater and Kyle Allen, and I'm taking Teddy Bridgewater. I think Coach Campbell already knows what Teddy is. There's no reason to rush him into camp to try to figure out what he is and what he isn't. They're going to let these two quarterbacks duke it out and see what's going on.
Time will tell. Dan can only say so many things before the evidence starts to show on the football field and depth charts and who's getting reps versus who isn't. So I love the answers. It kind of gives us a little something to keep an eye on. I like when he's a little cryptic sometimes because that just means you got to start paying attention to who's getting the reps, who's getting the snaps. Yeah, the chess pieces. Who's getting the first team reps in preseason games? Is it going to be Hendon Hooker, Kyle Allen, potentially Teddy Bridgewater? Like, where is Hendon Hooker going to fall in the hierarchy of the quarterback room? So time will tell. Dan can give all the answers he wants, but we'll figure it out eventually. Anything else for tonight, Will?
No, that's it, man. We didn't mention the O-line, but I'm still watching that closely, man. Keep an eye on that, guys. Taking those steps at center. The last thing that Coach Campbell said about the O-line was over this 10-day period, we're gonna see what's what, man. So I'm looking forward to seeing that O-line unfold as well, man. That's it for me.
Yeah, the only one I know for sure, Penei Sewell. Like, that's the only one I know who's playing right tackle for the next 10, 15 years. That's all for tonight. Stick around, hit that like button. Will's got to go hammer out some more curls. We'll be back later with another show.
Peace.